Yo, this is not the typical video that I would normally make, but I wanted to hop on here and say that if you're seeing this, then you're at a part in your life where a lot of things are happening. Maybe that's just me that I'm dealing with this, but life's moving fast. And in order to be ahead, to be the top dog, to be successful in this market, this AI bubble, you have to be ahead. I'm going to show you something important to me. And for those of you that don't follow me on social media, or even any of my friends that know me, you will know for the past 8 months, I have obsessed over this product development. I've obsessed over my craft of marketing. I know that if I can spend the next another 8 months continuously working, developing, and launching, and still building my software, I will become a billionaire. I will sell my software for hundreds of millions of dollars into Google. And then let's say, even if it's not to Google, it's to some very large conglomerate or just very large company for hundreds of millions of dollars. I am extremely, extremely confident that I'll be able to do so. And as I am sitting here, I've already done the Shopify realm. I've done $50 million in revenue. I've done the $60 million in revenue. I've done the 100,000 orders. I've done all that. I've made over $10 million with my agency. But what I was dealing with for the longest time is, what is next? How can I consistently think big? And without making this about myself, I think it's important to note that we need to position our minds, to position ourselves to think continuously big. Back to what I was going to say about my phone. I have obsessed over my craft. I've obsessed over my product. I've obsessed over my company and the future of where we currently are in the current state of AI. Let's break this down. We have social media marketing, which is the typical agencies. We have e-commerce, we have day trading, we have sports betting, we have info offers. Those are great. Sure, make 100K, 200K, 300K a month. Longevity, there's nothing there. You're not building anything. You're not creating anything. Only thing you're doing is you're coaching and you're selling a dream. My screen time in this last, let's see if it's going to focus. My screen time is an hour. I'll screenshot it. My daily average is an hour and 17 minutes. That is my daily screen time. And it's Wednesday, so it's Sunday till today. I'll even go to next week, which we'll see what next or last week is. And even last week, 2 hours and 28 minutes. If that doesn't show you how dedicated I am to my softwares, I'm going to show you one more thing. I track my sleep. I track absolutely everything. My vitals, my organs, my sleep today. I'm in bed, 3:26 a.m. and I woke up, let's see, 6 hours. I woke up at 10 a.m. And then we have other days where it's, if my app is not wanting to bug, we have, once again, total time of sleep, 5 hours and 44 minutes, sleep score of 66, in bed at 6 a.m. and awake at 12 a.m. or 12 p.m. The day before that, 5 hours of sleep. I am asleep at 4 a.m. and I'm up at 9. Once again, the day before that, 4 hours of sleep. To be ahead, you literally have to be ahead. There is no, oh, I'm going to spend an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours building something out. Because I promise you, every hour, every second that you're not building something now gives your competitors a chance to build it and beat you to it. People are better coders than I am. People are better product developers than I am. People are just better at marketing than I am. They're better at my craft than I am. But what I've learned in working with the biggest companies in the world and from my own people that I call mentors that are my clients, I've realized how important speed is and how speed and efficiency overall will win. You will win if you are efficient, if you are speed, and you can actually take actions, execution. So speed, efficiency, and execution. That's like one of the most important things to do. Now, where am I? What am I doing? I have let go hundreds, let's say hundreds, but over 100 clients. I just stopped responding to their messages. I gave them referrals on clients or companies that they can go to for Google Ads. And I said, look, I'm just busy with my software. I'm solo deving this myself. And I'll get more to that in a minute. So I'm taking a massive pay cut here and going from making $1.7 million a month to next invoice round, I don't even know. And I don't even care. I've already done, once again, $50 million in e-commerce. I've already done $10 million a year with my agency. I'm chilling. I just didn't see any massive growth with where I was currently at. And yeah, I'm still scaling my store. We're doing over $10 million a month right now with e-commerce. But aside from that, I'll sell the brand for $100 million, $2 million. Cool. More money that I can just piss into my software. I've realized that the great Steve Jobs, the great Larry Ellison, even the greatest, the most powerful people, what is one thing that they do? And my whole motto in my entire life has been one thing specifically. And that's the reason why it's even gotten me to where I am today, to be able to just let go of over $1 million a month in income, not care, and know that there's a bigger role, a bigger vision in what I'm building, and building a product that has enterprise value, equity value, because this is the big play. This is where we're going. I'm out of the ecom scene. My employees run the company for me. I'm out of the agency scene. My employees, they ran it for me. I'm into software. I'm all in on software and content. That's where I'm at. Back to my whole motto thing, and it all ties in together. Steve Jobs in an early commercial for Apple. One of the things that he was talking about is it was a bunch of scenes put together in a commercial. And at the end of the commercial was Apple, think different. That was a thing that Steve Jobs created himself with his team, a very large production team to create this. It was think different. One of the things that the great and person I would love to meet one day, Larry Ellison, said is when everybody goes right, go left. In order to be the dog, be the top dog, you have to be different. You have to think different. And I sent this to my buddy Ryan. I literally said, let's see, Steve Jobs, once again, Apple, think different. Larry Ellison, Oracle, be different. My entire life has been like this. I've always, when somebody wants me to do this thing or they do this thing, I go the opposite way. I didn't focus on Facebook ads. I didn't want to go to school like everybody else did. I wanted to do something different. Even the products, I didn't want to sell the same products. I didn't want to be a YouTuber. I've always wanted to do something different because I see a bigger picture in everything. And by doing so, I've almost had an awakening. I've just been indulging myself in consistent content from Peter Thiel, from the greatest founders of our generation, Peter Thiel, Sam Altman, Elon Musk, Larry Ellison, Steve Jobs. I mean, the list goes on of people you can think of right now in front of me. You guys can't see it, but I'm watching Competition is for Losers with Peter Thiel, How to Start a Startup 2014. Crazy enough, the president of YC at the time, which is Y Combinator, was Sam Altman. Sam Altman utilized his leverage at Y Combinator to hire the best devs to build OpenAI. Elon Musk invested $50 million into OpenAI, and without Elon, OpenAI wouldn't be where it is today. So where am I going with all of this? I think that building your base is really important. You need to identify what is really important to you, what motivates you, what makes you most passionate. I don't want to work for anybody. I know that I am able to create amazing products and obsess myself over something so great and make hundreds of millions that would turn into billions of dollars by doing so. That's whenever I've really creative. That's whenever I've really started to hone in more on my software. And I've always been big on software. If you guys don't know, back in 2022, I actually enrolled myself into the Rice University Coding Bootcamp, which is hosted by Ruger's Coding Bootcamp. And it was a $12,000 6-month coding bootcamp. I learned full stack development, so HTML, CSS, React, Next.js, which is more web applications. I learned the basic infrastructure. And what I learned then applies to nothing that I'm doing now. So did I really learn anything? Not really. But with AI and how far we've come, I've learned a lot. And it's been really important for me to be able to learn all this stuff. So what can you take from this video, and how can you apply this to where you currently are? Depending on your situation, everybody's obviously different, but just know that there's people out there that are working harder than you, that are working 3 times, if not 4 times more than you are. And you're looking at that guy. I will outwork you. Nobody will outwork me. Not one person. If you stack me against 50 other cracked founders, you will not outwork me. I don't care who you are. You won't. Respectfully, you won't. I will consistently be ahead. I truly believe that I am 1 to 3 years ahead of my whole generation in terms of knowledge. Honestly, further than that, in terms of what I've created and what I'm creating, I believe that I'm extremely ahead of time by indulging myself in learning absolutely everything possible, by following the founders of the biggest companies in the entire world, reverse engineering everything they've ever done, and absorbing as much information as possible. If I'm going to read a book on psychology and how to speak to people, how to win, how to win friends and influence people, something like that, easy. Take the book summary, throw it in ChatGPT, get a super high level like MVP or master prompt, and train yourself based on what it said to you. You can even switch it to the voice mode on ChatGPT with a book summary, which is like a 20, 30 page book summary on the most important aspects and topics to learn, and switch to voice mode. It will just tell it to you. Then it's an audiobook for the next 30 minutes that you have to listen to. Dissect everything, reverse engineer everything, continuously innovate and develop, and just don't stop working. I'll give myself a 3-month run of working really, really hard. Then I will piss off in freaking Europe for a month. That's what I do. This run's been different. I've been locked in, astronomically locked in for the past 8 months. I have not stopped working on this. What I first initially wanted to create was a software just so I could scale my ecom brand more. And since then, it has absolutely blown up into this enormous software that I truly believe, and I tell myself every single day, I will sell this software. And a year from now, if not 6 months from now, after I exit, you're going to open up Google Ads, and the first thing that they're going to do for onboarding is run you through my software. That's how bullish I am. Not even honestly, I hate that word bullish. Throw that out the window. No, I'm first to market. I am a company that literally will make a brand more money, make an agency more money, make Google more money. I'm tying in Google products into this. And the really, really big money is building a Google. But the thing is, maybe it's a limiting belief that I can't do that. Maybe this is, and I just had that myself. Maybe by saying that, just figured out that I have a limiting belief that I can't create a company like Google. That'd be really hard to. It's possible. Obviously, look at OpenAI, but I don't have $150 million to inject into a company like that right away. Maybe half, but not everything. I just don't have the bandwidth to do that yet. It's there. I have the infrastructure, I have motivation, but you need to fully indulge, fully obsess yourself, find founders to learn absolutely everything on, and apply that to your company, apply that to your business, apply that to reasoning, apply that to modeling, whatever you're trying to create, whether it's in e-commerce, whether it's in developing a software, developing an app, just do the freaking work. Those 18-hour days are not pretty. And I'll do that for the next 8 months if I have to. Until I'm happy, until I sell this company for, like, my minimum is 100 million. That's my minimum. The goal is well over $1 billion. If I can have $1 billion in my account, I'm good, because then I'm going to keep buying companies and keep growing companies. 100 million won't change much. My life is not going to change. I've done well for myself, but that's obviously an accomplishment and achievement. And I'll take $100 million, sure. But I know I can get more, because every single user that's going to be on Google Ads in the next 6 months to a year will be onboarding with my software, because they're going to develop their own version. They're going to buy it and then recreate my version of my software for the end user to use. I'm cutting out, without saying too much, I'm cutting out 60% of the workflow for anybody that runs Google Ads. I'm cutting out 80%, because it's an 80-20 rule with Google Ads. 80% building and managing the campaigns. And I say building the campaigns themselves, 80%, 20%, you're just in there, you're just managing budgets and bids. That's it. 80% super tedious, annoying task where you get nothing done except for just publishing the campaigns. And I've solved for that. I have lived, I have breathed, I have fully indulged myself in the software. I have fallen asleep thinking of products, thinking of how I can develop this, how I can develop that, having breakthroughs. And I have really, really wrapped this around my head so far to where I've even had instances where I was this is a funny story. I was with a girl, and let's just say I couldn't think about anything aside from my software. And the thing that I was trying to accomplish that day that I was working on while we were, while we were working together, it came to me, and I immediately was just like, I can't be doing this right now. And I went back to working on my software. Call me a DICK for that. Sure. My priorities, 100%. I am full throttle. I will outwork every single individual watching this video. I want you to work and understand how I work, understand how the cracked founders work. Elon Musk doesn't freaking sleep. You think that all these big founders are actually sleeping? They're not sleeping. Elon Musk slept in the freaking Twitter office. Elon, now he's a unicorn. He's an anomaly. But regardless of the fact is, there's just not enough time for me to sleep. Sleep is always going to be there for the rest of my life. If I don't do it now, then somebody else will. Somebody's going to fill the gap. I have created a solution that's first to market by being so indulged in the software that makes me more money, that makes brands more money, and that makes bigger companies more money. So it's a win-win for absolutely everybody. I've indulged myself in this, and I'm only going to win. I have told everybody around me that I will sell this for a minimum 9 figures. I've said I'm going to hit $12.5 million ARR at launch. I'm going to scale this, hit $30 million, hit $40 million AR, and then get my evaluation 10 to 20x from Google. Boom, done, gone. That's it. Bootstrapped, solo founder. And I've wanted to appoint devs. The thing is, a developer, obviously they're going to be better coders than I am. But in reality, I know my product better than they do. I know what my product needs. I know what I want to create. And so I'm able to create it. So that's why I'm going to be a billionaire. And that's why by my 1 hour a day of screen time, by my 18 plus hours a day in actual just hard doing the freaking work, that's why I'm ahead of everybody right now. Call me cocky for saying that. I don't care. I am ahead of you. I am ahead of 99.9% of my competition because I'm actually going out, getting the work done. I'm not letting myself be comfortable. I am developing products that solve a solution that is nothing to market like this. And I'm going to sell it for $1 billion. So key takeaways from this video are: find something that motivates you, find a way to make a stable income, build something that you believe is going to be great. Don't think small, think really, really big scale. Maybe it takes you 3 months, 6 months, a whole year to really get a true understanding of what you're trying to accomplish, what you're trying to create. Spend the next year building it. The faster you can build it, the faster you can ship it, the faster you can get it to market, the faster you can sell it. And that's my rant. It's 10:44 p.m. right now, September 24th. That's my rant on how I'm going to be a billionaire and how I outwork all my competition. I look at any of my peers. I'm 21 years old. Anybody around me, not one person is putting in the work like I do, yet they still praise me on social media. Like, bro, like, how do you do what do you do? Like, how do you get into it? First off, I've learned to cut out the BS. I'm not going to answer your questions on how I got into like what I'm doing. If you want to learn what I do and how I got started, watch my freaking YouTube video. I'm not going to continuously repeat myself. That's low energy, low frequency. I am full force, full throttle. If you want to talk to me going 2 miles an hour, just know that I'm going 100 miles an hour faster than you. And that's where I'm at. Stooping down to be able to continuously replay my story will take my brain out of work mode, and it will just further disrupt my performance of how I'm in building phase right now, essentially. So understand that and be harsh. Be harsh on yourself. Be harsh on people around you. Don't take BS. Don't let people talk down to you. Even though I just said talk down on people, just cut out the BS. If you think somebody's going to just waste your time, just cut it short and get back to what you're doing and make your time as valuable as possible. Any time spent is another minute to an hour that gives your competition to create the product that you're trying to create. And then by that time, an hour a day ends up being 30 hours a month. And that's an extra 30 hours that somebody just had. And now they're freaking 30 hours ahead of you. So good luck catching up to them. Then you got to spend the next 30 hours catching back up to them. Then you're 60 hours behind. See where I'm going here? Learn from the biggest founders in the world. Learn from Larry Ellison. Be the top dog. Be different. Go the opposite way. When people want to go this way, go the opposite way. That's been my motto my entire life. I've always thought differently. I've always been, I want to say built differently, but I've always done the opposite of what everybody else is doing. So that's it. Get to building and get rich, and then hiss off and do whatever you want.